exceed the max limit of list or array backslash n end semicolon. So this is the and thereafter return semicolon. So this is handling. So if n less than max, so we can take the input. So now printf enter the list. Now here we take a loop, that is for loop, because every time we take input for a different room of the array, so that is why that is a same instruction but executed simultaneous. So I equals to 0 semicolon I less n semicolon I plus plus scanf semicolon %d separator I n semicolon. So this is the procedure to take the inputs. Okay. So input is over and the create is also over. Understand? So now thereafter we have to go to the second option, that is display the list. So in case 2 again display function is called, so we have to define the display function. So every time when we are doing a particular operation, before to think about the operation, we have to think that when we cannot do that operation. So when we cannot do that operation, so that is what when the list is not created. Okay. So when the list is not created, that is why we assign the initial value of n is 0. So suppose the list is not created, still a user want to check the display of the list or want to execute the display function. So that time, because of create is not happened, create function is not created the list, so still the value of n is 0. So by that logic we can understand the list is created or not. If the value of n is 0, so list is not created or list is empty, and if the value of n is greater than 0, so that means at least a single value is there within the list. Clear? Because n, the job of n is count how many element is there, that means the length of the list. Clear to all of you? So now if very first moment we know the any kind of function, the first line of the program, first line of that function or the main function, we have to declare the variables, that is the local variables. Okay. So if this is a display function, if this is a display function, so we have to declare some variables like int I, who will visit throughout the array. Now we have to check the list is already created or not. Okay. So that is by the value of n. So we just check n equals to 0, then we print using printf function backslash n, the list is not created, or the list is empty, whatever. And return. If n is not 0, so that means there have some element, so we have to visit each and every room. So n is the length of the list, so we have to visit from 0 to I equals to 0 semicolon I less n semicolon I plus plus, and before that loop I just print here using a printf function the list is print a double quote space %d separator ai end semicolon. So the display function is over. So when we cannot display, when the list is not created. Okay. Now the next operation is, or next option is insert operation. So insert. So during the insert operation, so when we cannot insert, first option is when we cannot insert. So every time we have to think about that when we cannot perform that operation. Okay. So when we cannot insert, see, if the array is full, that means the value of n and the value of max is same. Understand? Value of n and the value of max is same, then we can understand the whole array. There are whatever the number, whatever the size of array, all the room is booked, or all the room have the value. Okay, so that we cannot insert the new element because there have no room for that array. Clear? So that is why we have to first check that. Before that we have to declare some variables. So int insert, that means we need int item. We have to visit throughout the array, so we need I also, I comma item comma pos, that is the position, because during the insert operation we need in which position you want to insert, is not it? So this is the procedure. And now the thing, the time when we check we cannot insert. So when we cannot insert, so that is by if n equals to max. Okay. So right now we can see if there are five elements, the value of n is 5. So the in array, the first row is 0, then second value is in 1th position, third value is in second position, fourth value is in third position, and fifth value is in fourth position. If there have five elements or five items, so there have we understand that is if the value of n is 5, our last value is in 5 minus 1, that is, or n minus 1, that is fourth position. Okay. So if max, the value of max is 20, so last room, because array start the first room, that is 0th position, so last room will be max minus 1. Okay, as well as the last position of nth value is n minus 1. So there is, if there have 20 value, so value of n is 20. The last room position is 20 minus 1 is 19, because 0 to 19 is total 20 room. So the value of max is also 20, and last room position is max minus 1. So all over, whatever this confusion, ignore this confusion. If there have n element and all the element is in the array and all the room is already booked, in that situation n equals to max, then we print if using a printf function, double quote, backslash n, the list is full or overflow. Okay, backslash n, backslash n, semicolon, now return. If the list is not full, so then we can insert. Now suppose this is an array.